Hey everybody, this is Christine, and I hate to break it to you. You are in a toxic relationship, and if you didn't know with who, your hairstylist. Your hairstylist is the problem. Now, I know you're probably sitting back like, blah, 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 shots fired. That's really not the intention of this video. My intent is to help, but I have been seeing this problem happen and it has literally been driving me crazy. I've been having one-on-one conversations with different people when it comes to hair consultations. And this is just something that I can't keep doing on a one-on-one basis. I had to do something a little bit bolder outside of my comfort zone, but it is so necessary. So I encourage you, sit back, relax. I got my therapist head wrap on. I'm on my couch. I encourage you to do the same because we are going to be breaking chains today. We are going to be exposing toxic relationships. But the goal is at the end of the day for you to recognize what toxic relationships you have in your life, be it your hairstylist or otherwise, and to address them in a healthy, productive way. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so I gave you my spiel of that your hairstylist is the problem, and you don't have to believe me. But let's just do a rewind, right? Back in COVID, when it first started, we thought it was going to be a week, a month, where we would be trapped inside the house. It ended up being years that we were cooped up inside of these houses. I was inside of these four walls, literally feeling like I was getting ready to go crazy. I know that you were too. But one thing that came out was our dependency, some of us, for our hairstylist. It was during a period where we were running low on supplies. People were going to grocery stores. It really felt like Hunger Games. People were fighting people in the grocery stores. Toilet tissue became the main form of currency. Crazy when you think about it, right? Hair care products. It was so hard to find our typical everyday hair care products. Thankfully, I make my own, but even still, like the raw ingredients that I use to make my products, it was becoming scarce. It was hard out here in these streets for everybody, right? But the people who were suffering the most were the people who, with their hairstylists, had that you do it relationship. So the people who would go to their hairstylist and not want to touch their hair at all, they said, hairstylist, you do everything. You wash my hair, you style my hair, you trim my hair. I don't want to have to touch it at all. Those were the people during COVID that were impacted the most. Now, I will say, having that type of plush, lush life where people just treat you and cater to you, that is self-care. And I am in no ways knocking that type of relationship and having people to service you in that type of way if that is your choice. Where I have the issue is that if you don't know how to do those things yourself, this is where the issue comes in. And this is what I'm seeing. There are so many people who have given their hairstylist that you do it conversation to where they don't know how to take care of their hair themselves. And so, like I said, we are breaking those chains today. If you don't believe me, I'm going to give you an example to show just how toxic hairstylists can be. Think about your dentist. Do you know how to brush your teeth on your own? Do you know how to floss your teeth on your own? Do you know what toothpaste to use? Do you know what mouthwash to use? Can you tell if there's something off, like if your gums feel a little inflamed or hurt, or if you think you might have a cavity? right? All of those things you know how to do on your own. But when it comes to hairstylists should function like a dentist. You don't go to the dentist to brush your teeth. You don't go to the dentist to floss your teeth. Yes, that's something that happens during the routine appointments that you have with them, but they are not the whole reason why you're brushing your teeth, right? You brush your teeth at home. But for many people, their hairstylist literally does everything for them when it comes to their hair. And so I'm trying to help us to have a mindset shift that, again, your hairstylist should be like your dentist. You go to your dentist for checkups. You go to your dentist for some of those heavier, more professional procedures that you can't do on your own. And your hairstylist should be the same way. You should know how to wash your hair. You should know how to condition, how to trim, how to blow dry. All of these things you should know how to take care and maintain your hair by yourself. But if you never deal with your hair by yourself, if you're always outsourcing and saying you do it, you aren't going to be able to tell when things are off. Those little warning signs that your hair and your scalp are giving you to tell you that there's something wrong, you're going to miss it on your own. And those are the little things that you're able to tell when it comes to your teeth. Why? Because you're dealing with it every single day. I can remember eating a piece of candy not too long ago in this sharp pain. It was the most excruciating pain. And I immediately knew there was something wrong with my teeth. I need to go to the dentist. I probably have a cavity or starting to form a cavity. So that was my warning sign of I need to go see a professional. And our hair and our scalp are giving us all of these warning signs. For some of us, those warning signs aren't little anymore. It's full blown red flags. Fire alarms are going off, but because we never deal with our hair and we don't want to, we're unable to recognize those signs, and the health of our hair is suffering. The health of our scalp is suffering, and our confidence is suffering as a result as well. So I have heard many stylists say, in general, I can tell when my client has changed their diet, or I can tell when there's something off in my client's life because I see it in their hair. Well, why don't you as the client see it? And I'll tell you why. It's because you aren't being educated on how to see it. A dentist doesn't withhold that information from you, right? Going back to that dentist example. When I go to the dentist, I already know what they're going to tell me. Christine, are you flossing your teeth like you should? And my response is no. I'm working on it, dentist. If you're my dentist and you're watching this, I promise I'm working on it. But even still, my dentist, when I go in for my routine checkups or for whatever procedure it is that I'm encountering, they stop and they take the time to show me, okay, this is how to properly brush your teeth. This is how to properly floss your teeth. These are some of the warning signs that you should be looking out for. This is what I see. If you start to see XYZ, call me, come back. This is the steps that we'll need to take. Is your hairstylist taking that same care with you? Are they showing you how to trim your ends? Are they showing you how to recognize when your ends are damaged? Are they showing you what clean hair feels like versus what hair with buildup still feels like? If you've washed your hair and there's still buildup, they should be taking the time as they are doing your hair, cleaning your hair, styling your hair, to be educating you so that you are empowered and you are not dependent upon them, because dependency is a sign of a toxic relationship. But I can tell y'all are still over there. Y'all are like, Christine, you've given us some really good information. I thought your little analogy about the dentist was cute. But I don't believe you. I love my hairstylist. She's my homegirl. She got my hair slanging. And I don't agree with the fact that you think that this is a toxic relationship. Okay, fair enough. Just bear with me. I'm going to just read a little definition, okay? It says a relationship is considered toxic when it's characterized by behaviors that are emotionally, mentally, or physically damaging to one or both partners. And you're probably like, okay, Christine, that definition absolutely positively does not even apply to me and my hairstylist or my beautician. So, thank you for acknowledging the fact that I don't have a toxic relationship. Whoa. Well, hold up before you leave, because it starts to talk about here are some common features of a toxic relationship. And the very first thing that it says is control and manipulation. Is your relationship with your stylist one that's controlling? You may not think so, but here are some reasons or some things that might mean that you're in a controlling relationship with your hairstylist. Question, is it a problem if you see another stylist? If you seeing another stylist or having somebody else do your hair, if that is an issue for your stylist, that is a toxic relationship. Why aren't you able to see somebody else or have somebody else wash and style your hair? If they are professional and they know what they're doing, what's the problem with it? If you stop coming regularly and that is a big issue, you might be in a toxic relationship. Now I get it. There are definitely recommended times where you should be coming in, or definitely recommended times where you should be scheduling things. But if they are demanding, okay, after 3 weeks, you have to come back to me and I'm going to do XYZ, or you have to come back to me next week so I can wash and style your hair. Why? Are you really concerned about me? Are you concerned about the economy and your own pockets and bank account? So these are just some things to think about. Don't kill the messenger. So is your relationship with your hairstylist controlling? Another trait is dependency. Is your hairstylist teaching you or showing you what to do with your hair? Does everything that happens with your hair have to go through your stylist? These are little things that you should be thinking about. Also, one huge thing that I noticed that people have let me know that their stylists aren't doing is your stylist recommending that you go to a dermatologist? In certain instances, there are things that are happening with your scalp that a medical professional needs to see and treat. But if your hairstylist is up here wanting to be able to control everything that's happening with your hair and scalp and attempting to fix things that really should be handled by a dermatologist, that's a sign of a toxic relationship. Just taking a pause. How many of you have ever been to a hairstylist or a beautician and they said, I really feel like you should see a dermatologist and get a second opinion, or have them see what's happening with your scalp? In our community, there are so many women that are experiencing different forms of alopecia, and we have hairstylists that are sitting up here acting like they can treat alopecia. Yes, some forms of alopecia can be treated or resolved just by a beautician, especially if it's like traction alopecia and it's just how you are mishandling your hair. But there are other forms of alopecia where hairstylists are just out here trying to convince you that they can do it all. So find a hairstylist or a beautician that is willing to do those things. That's not going to be controlling. That's not going to be the type of person to make you feel as though you are dependent on them. Your hairstylist should function like your dentist. They should be helping you with those more technical things, helping you with your checkups with your hair, showing you when you're doing things wrong, and not creating a controlling or dependent relationship where functioning without them is a problem. At the heart of pretty much everything that's happening right now, times are hard. And when you're empowered, for some stylists, it means ultimately less money for them. So instead of creating these healthy relationships, the toxic one is what's presented to you because that's more beneficial. That's what's going to pay their bills. That's what's going to put food on their table. So that was a lot, I know. And you're thinking, okay, Christine, you now identified that I'm in a toxic relationship. Now what? Literally, this has been my mission, empowering women to love, to understand, and to embrace their natural hair. And I'm not saying that hairstylists are bad because I absolutely love and adore mine. I'm just saying that it's time for us, those Black women and melanated women with natural curly hair. It's time for us to develop healthy relationships with our own hair and healthy relationships with our stylists and our beauticians, and to stop putting up with those toxic relationships. So what now? I'm encouraging you to recognize those toxic relationships and to transform them into healthy ones, and to transform those relationships into ones where you are empowered, where you feel beautiful by yourself. If the only way you feel beautiful with your hair is because a stylist is doing it, that's a problem. That's a toxic relationship. At the end of the day, I want you to feel beautiful, and I want you to feel confident in what you are able to do with your body. God gave you this hair on your head. I want you to know how to maintain it and how to care for it. So this is the first of just many videos that are to come. And again, is your relationship with your stylist toxic? She may be the most amazing person in the world. He may be the most amazing person in the world. They may listen to all your problems while you are sitting in that chair. They may make you feel so beautiful, appreciated, seen, and loved, and that is absolutely okay. But I really want to challenge you to step back and see, is this a toxic relationship? And to start taking those steps to change it. It happens today. It happens now.